Why do bodybuilders with massive, impressive arms sometimes get completely outlifted by ordinary people who don't even step inside a gym? The mirror is lying to you. Size is not strength, and everything you thought you knew about building raw power is completely backward. 1. The size versus strength illusion. When researchers decided to test this properly, they took 3 distinct groups: bodybuilders who train purely for muscle size, powerlifters who train for raw strength, and ordinary people who don't train at all. From every single person, they took a tiny sample of muscle and tested a single isolated muscle fiber to see how much actual force that individual thread could produce for its size. Logically, everyone assumed the bodybuilders would win easily. Their fibers were the biggest and most visually striking by far. But when the numbers came in, the results shocked the scientific community. The bodybuilders' fibers came out the weakest of all 3 groups. Not just weaker than the powerlifters, but weaker than the untrained people who never touched the weight. Inch for inch, the most impressive looking muscle in the room made the least amount of force. This proved a brutal, fundamental truth. A bigger fiber is not automatically a stronger one. You can build a muscle that adds massive visual size without adding the proportional strength to go with it. The bodybuilders didn't do anything wrong. They trained for size and they got size. But size and strength turned out to be 2 entirely separate games, built through 2 completely different biological pathways. You can be huge and relatively weak for your size, or you can be smaller and far stronger than you look. The muscle you see in the mirror is merely a rough hint, never the real answer. The real question was never how big the muscle is, but how much usable force it can actually generate. And that depends entirely on variables you can't see from the outside. The invisible drivers, fast fibers and neural drive. The first hidden factor you can see is the biological makeup of your muscle fibers. Not all fibers are created equal. Some are built strictly for endurance, the slow twitch fibers that let you walk around all day without getting tired. Others are built for raw power, the fast twitch fibers that fire hard and quick but burn out in seconds. Everyone is born with a mix of both, but that ratio varies wildly from person to person. 2 individuals can walk into the gym with arms of the exact same size, yet one of them is naturally carrying a higher percentage of fast, powerful fibers. That person is going to be significantly stronger, and there is nothing on the outside, no amount of visual inspection that would ever give it away. However, here is the part that matters infinitely more because it's the part you actually have control over: your nervous system. Your brain acts like a strict gatekeeper. It only lets you access a fraction of your muscle fibers at any given time, saving the strongest, most explosive fast twitch fibers for absolute emergencies. Which means you could be born with all the power fibers in the world, but if your brain never learns or is never forced to call on them, they might as well not exist. Strength isn't just about growing muscle tissue, it's a skill governed by neural drive. The weakest link: tendons, elasticity, and leverage. Even if your brain unlocks that force, it has to travel somewhere. Your muscles aren't bolted directly to the weights in your hands. They are anchored to your bones via tough cords called tendons. When a muscle contracts, that force has to run through a tendon to move the bone and lift the load. Think of how a rubber band works. If you just hold it, nothing happens. But if you stretch it back first and let go, it snaps forward with stored energy. Your tendons do the exact same thing. Watch anyone jump high. Right before they go up, they dip down. That dip isn't wasted motion. It stretches the tendons, loading them like a spring. When they explode upward, the tendons snap back, adding a free kick of force on top of what the muscles are already doing. But tendons have a dark side that many lifters learn the hard way. Muscles adapt and get strong remarkably fast, usually in a matter of weeks. Tendons, on the other hand, are notoriously slow. They receive far less blood flow than muscle tissue, meaning they take months to truly upgrade. When someone forces a rapid surge in strength, there is a dangerous window where the muscle can pull harder than the tendon is structurally built to handle. That exact gap is where tears and injuries happen. The engine got upgraded before the chassis could take it. And if that wasn't enough, we have to talk about leverage, the ultimate genetic hand you're dealt. Your bones act like seesaws swinging around your joints. Where your tendons attach to your bone changes everything. Some people's tendons attach slightly further out from the joint, the good seat, allowing them to move heavy loads with mechanical advantage and less effort. Others attach closer in, the bad seat, forcing them to grind through every single repetition. You don't pick your seat, you are born with it. That is why a normal-looking guy can walk in and lift a weight that looks entirely too heavy for his size. His skeleton simply handed him a better mechanical deal. How to actually train for real strength. So, knowing all of this, what do you actually do in the gym to build real, functional strength? Teach your brain to let go. Since your nervous system is the primary bottleneck holding your strength back, you have to force it to open the floodgates. Lift heavy. Use a weight you can only manage for 3 to 5 clean repetitions. Give your brain no choice but to recruit those stubborn, powerful, fast twitch fibers. Prioritize explosive intent. push every single repetition as fast and hard as you can, even if the weight itself is heavy and barely moves. Your brain learns to fire those strong fibers simultaneously when it senses maximum effort. Whether the bar moves fast or slow, the sheer intent is the lesson. Manage your rest and volume. Give yourself adequate rest minutes between heavy sets. The neural signal we are training fades quickly when your central nervous system gets gassed. Furthermore, stop treating workouts like mindless exhaustion tests. Treat your lifts like skills. Squat or bench press 2 to 3 times a week rather than hammering them once a decade. You aren't just breaking down tissue, you are rehearsing a neurological signal. Avoid the trap of constant failure. Do not take every single working set to absolute failure. While pushing until you can't move feels productive, it fries the exact neural pathway you are trying to sharpen and leaves you too fatigued to practice proper mechanics. Stop a rep or two short of failure on most sets. Protect your tendons by adding weight to the bar gradually. Accept that skeletal leverage is the one variable you cannot change, and stop measuring your true capability against the mirror. True strength is built from the inside out.